Hi friends, it's Michelle Ladd with National Veteran Resources, and today I have the privilege of having Shannon from Light Vessel here in the brand new RV. And Shannon has something really amazing to share with you, but I wanted to tell you we are both mothers to veterans, and actually her son is active duty, and I consider him a veteran because he's serving our country. And so both of our sons are combat, and we can relate on a lot of different levels. Mm-hmm. So today we are going to be talking about stress. And Shannon knows I'm all about PTSD and suicide prevention and mental health and many issues that go along with that. And so Shannon has traveled all the way from Minnesota to come and meet with me this morning before I head out on my next Operation 22-0 tour. So I'm just going to have Shannon talk about stress and some of the tools that can be used. And at the end, we're going to share her contact information. So this is for our active duty military, our veterans, our first responders, but also this message, I think, we can all relate to stress.
Yep.
So Shannon, I'm going to have you say hello and just tell everybody what you do and what you can do to help them.
Great, thank you. First of all, thank you, Michelle, so much for being so gracious. I'm immensely honored and privileged.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. First, the first thing that came to me is I want to tell the people who are watching this and you are loved and you matter.
Oh,
okay.
Yes, thank you.
You matter. You matter. Whether you think you do or not, you matter to somebody, and that's the most important thing. A little bit about me. Yeah, as Michelle said, my son Thomas is in the Army. 7 years. He just moved down to Fort Benning with his wife. I just got to go visit. He's been deployed twice. He just returned from Afghanistan in July. So he doesn't talk about what he saw, but we all can imagine. And so I have quite the heart for veterans. My dad was a Vietnam War Marine, and he died at 46, partly due to stress from his own life. And so I have a lot of experience with stress from being an Army mom and being the daughter of a Marine.
I can imagine.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a real memory or not, or if it was just a joke, but after we would do our chores, allegedly my dad would put on a white glove and put his, use his finger to see if things were dusted right. And while that may not be a true story, that's how we felt anyway, and that's all that matters.
I've heard that many times.
Yep. So a little bit about me. Part of the reason I am here talking to you today is because of my own stress and my own PTSD that I developed since I was a child. I did EMDR. I don't think I told you that.
No.
Yep, I got diagnosed with PTSD, I don't know, within the past 10 years. And I had EMDR, and that was really effective.
Okay.
That was really helpful.
Can you tell them what EMDR is?
Yeah, I can try. It's kind of bizarre. Basically, the therapist asks you to think of a traumatic memory, and then she used, in this particular therapist, you would watch her finger with your eyes, and then she reframes that experience for you so you don't have that emotional or physical reaction to that memory anymore. And she cuts that mind-body connection with that process, and that is also what I do, but in a different way, so that you can recall the memory. You don't, and sometimes you actually can forget the memory. I have personally done that, even forget the memory itself. But the awesome thing is you can remember, yes, I was in a car accident, but I no longer, when I get in a car, feel anxious. Or, you go around a curve, maybe you got in a car accident around the curve, which is what happened to me. And, I'd approach steep curves and feel that anxiety, and you don't have that anymore. So EMDR is a wonderful thing.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So some of the things that I went through, just to give people an idea of why I'm so empathetic. I had a very dysfunctional upbringing that led to a lot of depression, even probably as far back as 10, now that I think about it. Yeah, very young. I probably wasn't aware of it like gave it a name, of course, aging myself, but probably till I was early 20s, finally understood that this is depression. And back then, 30 years ago, when you tell people you're depressed, they're like, well, what's making you sad? Or, it's like, it's not just one thing. I'm not just in a bad mood. It's a lot more than that. So I've suffered from depression, anxiety. I used to have horrible panic attacks. I would get hives. My eyes would swell shut. I mean, it was just horrendous. And I have healed myself of that. What else? Goodness gracious. Suicidal thoughts, persistent thoughts at times. Never acted upon it, thankfully, but came very close. And another thing that so many of us suffer from is those persistent negative thoughts, where you're just constantly dwelling on bad things that have happened to you, or what you perceived as bad things, because sometimes it's just a perception, and it's not reality. What else? Goodness. My mind's going blank.
So we know that many of our veterans, active duty first responders, suffer with these issues that you're talking about. So, I talk about suicidal thoughts, attempts, PTSD, anxiety, depression. And so the reason why you're here today is because I would love for you to share what you do and some of the tools that they could use. Because I've been told so many times PTSD is curable.
And it is.
And so, but most of those that are suffering with it don't think that. They're in those dark places, they isolate. So I would like to have you share with them what you do and what you've done to get to the point where you are today, because I think that we talked so much last night. Oh my gosh, we didn't even get to the interview last night, by the way, guys, so that's why we're doing it this morning before I head out. But if you could just talk to them about what helped you in the process, and the tools that maybe they could start to use, and then we're gonna share your contact information so that they can reach out to you.
So a lot of people think that stress is caused by outside circumstances. My stress is caused by my children, by my spouse, by my job. And that's not true. The root cause of your stress is often in your childhood, where you don't create, you have these false beliefs such as, I'm not good enough, I'm not loved, I can't get what I want. And this is all because of things that happen to you, things your parents say to you, simple things like, what was one of mine? Children are meant to be seen and not heard. And what that ends up happening to people is you don't feel like you can speak up for yourself. You feel stifled. You can't express your feelings. You can't express your emotions. And it was just a simple thing that your parents said that they didn't know that would be harmful. And we have so many of those things. And so what I have been doing the past couple of years is this energy work to relieve my body of all these traumas, because emotions and stresses get trapped in our bodies and they cause chronic pain, which I endured, illness, migraines, the depression, all the mental health issues, stomach issues. All of that is caused by stress. And the doctors, they just want to give you drugs and they're just treating the symptoms. And so what I do and other modalities can do is get into that root cause of why you are experiencing the stress in the first place, and not just putting a Band-Aid on it. And so it's very freeing. I'm in such a happier place than I was, and I obviously I didn't have combat related PTSD, but I suffered horrendous things throughout my life. I have a list of 20 different things that I created. But the relief that it is possible, it absolutely is possible. I generally operate at a joyous state now, where I have my blips of certainly my bad moments, but my default is not sadness with moments of joy. And so one of the things that you can do, and I haven't implemented this one entirely. Yoga is a wonderful thing. It gets you out of your head, and that's what we need to do. We need to get out of our heads, get out of that negative thinking.
I just want to say, guys, yoga is cool. It is not uncool, because when you say yoga to guys, are like, oh.
Yeah,
it works.
There's a nonprofit called the Yoga Project for Veterans.
Oh.
Look it up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They train yoga practitioners on how to conduct a class for veterans for different things, so that veterans aren't triggered and so that they feel safe, because that is a huge thing. We all want to feel safe.
Right.
So yoga, mindfulness coaching, mindfulness training, that is something I do. It's about rewiring your brain and changing your mindset so that, as I was talking, your default is of joy and not of sadness. And it's possible. I know it, for when you're in a depressive state and all those other things, you don't feel it's possible, and I promise you it's possible.
It is.
Absolutely. Meditation is another one, and it's all about getting out of your head and bringing that sense of calm to your body. And these things, yoga and meditation in particular, mindfulness coaching, if you don't want to leave your house, if you don't want to pay for it, you don't want to go out into a group, you can do it on YouTube. There's all kinds of free stuff that you can do. Exercise, even just going for a walk, walking around your house. You got to move your body.
Right.
I mean, that can be so helpful. Getting out in nature, even if you can't go to the woods or you can't go to the beach, walk around your yard, listen to the birds, just feeling that sense of peace. Gosh, what are some other things? I mentioned meditation. Some people are like, oh, meditation's weird. Just prayer. Yeah. Just praying, if that's your thing.
I believe in prayer.
Yep.
I ask everybody when I get on the road to pray for me, and I can just feel the protection.
Yeah.
When people are praying for me.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Those are some basic things. One thing that I have been talking to people a lot about is when you are feeling anxious and you're stuck in your head and you can't get out of this loop of negative thoughts. It's called alternate nostril breathing. And it's a technique. Look it up on YouTube, and it just, I can't even demonstrate it. It sounds weird, it looks weirder, but it works. I've done it. And it's just about concentrating on your breath. So now instead of concentrating on those negative thoughts, you're concentrating on your breathing. And it is huge for people with anxiety. I every day I'm recommending it to somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell them again what it's called?
Alternate nostril breathing. Look it up on YouTube. It's free. There's a multitude of videos. Find one that resonates with you that you can tolerate watching, because it is weird. A lot of this is woo-woo stuff.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, that's just weird, I'm not even trying it.
Yeah.
But I promise you, while we're never fully healed because we're human and we have regular new stressors, it's possible to be cured of the PTSD. I've seen so many veterans say, I'll have this forever, and I'm just like, no, you won't. It's possible to be cured. It's possible to live a life full of joy and love and happiness.
Guys, I hope you're listening, and I hope you're sharing this message. So Shannon also does Reikki
and mindfulness coaching.
Yeah. And she can actually do remote.
I can do it from a distance. It's just like sending out a prayer. It's just energy.
What could you say to my audience that are in right now? I have so many that are in so many dark places, and they're isolating. They won't talk to anybody. They don't want to be out in the public. They don't want to hear anything we have to say.
Yeah.
But if you're watching, you must be somewhat interested in what we have to say.
Yeah.
So if you had a veteran or first responder in the room with you right now that is in a desperate situation, because I talk to a lot of people in crisis, what is something that you could say to them to make a difference at that moment? Because I need help with that, because sometimes I never give advice or anything, but I've had crisis calls. And if you've got a veteran or first responder in front of you, is there any single thing that you could think of to say, and also teach all of us, because we don't know what to do with that moment? What would you do if you had that situation?
The breathing exercises is it's so simple. But it really does work, again, because you're getting out of that negative loop of thoughts. That's what tortures us.
Right.
I feel like crying because I've been there. I still am there. I'm still dealing with it. And we get caught in that loop. And just find something to distract yourself, something positive, not drugs, not alcohol.
Right.
gaming. You need to get out of your head and find something that does bring you peace. And breathing, just concentrating on breathing. Breathing in and out. And even thinking, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And you do that until you feel calm. And
I felt that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. and that was just 2 breaths. Imagine just being able to do it for a couple minutes, and it just calms your body down, because stress is often just an emotional and physical reaction. And you get all tight, and your stomach gets all icky, and
your head.
Your head. The breathing just calms you down, and the power of touch, even just if you're with someone, just if it's acceptable to them, you should always ask. Just touch their hand or touch their shoulder. And the big thing too, I think, for all of us, and that's why I started out with this, and I'm getting choked up, is just to tell someone they matter and that they're safe.
Tell them.
You're safe. You are. I promise you are. Your mind is going to tell you you're not, but you are. And you are loved, and you absolutely matter. You absolutely matter. And I think the last thing too, and I know this is so hard on many days, is to find one thing when you wake up, at minimum, and one thing when you go to bed, what you're grateful for. Today, I'm grateful for, if you've got one, my spouse, or my child, or my mom, or my dad, that I woke up, that I have a bed to sleep in, and I know a lot of people don't, but and I know it's challenging for some people to find anything to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the sunny sky today. I'm grateful for the birds that are chirping. Anything. And once you start that practice of gratitude, see if you can find 2 things. And when you're changing your mindset, you're rewiring your brain, because now you're focused on things to be happy about.
So we didn't do the interview last night because she just started talking, and you guys got to know, I act like I'm all calm. I am not calm. I am getting ready to drive this big rig all around the country. I'm hearing people's stories, very sad stories, and I need mindfulness, and so we are going to stay in communication. We're going to make a difference in this world. So Shannon, we're going to end with, I would like the world to know that the tools that Shannon has to offer are going to be instrumental in change in your life. So how can my audience contact you? Where can they find more information? And how can they reach you if they actually want to speak to you?
Yes. So you can go to my website, which is called thelightvessel.com. You can go to my Facebook page. It's The Light Vessel. You can message me there. On my website, there's a contact form. There's also a pop-up. I know people hate pop-ups, but it only pops up once. You put your name, if you have email, your name and address in your email, I will send to you a free PDF about stress, the root causes of stress, all about stress, Stress 101.
Okay,
and
good.
It's free. I don't remember how many pages it is, and gives people a better idea of how I can help, a rehashing of some of these tools, some extra tools, to get them out of their heads, because that's the biggest thing.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle.
We are both traveling today, so we're going to get on the road. I wish you well and safety and love.
Same.
And I thank you so much for sharing this with my audience. And together we're going to do some more things, guys. So even, we'll have to do it remotely because we're both going to be on the road. But we're 2 moms that want to help make a difference. And if we can help in any way reduce your stress, get you tools, and get to the root cause of what your issues are, I'm finding resources to do that. Shannon is a resource to do that. So we're going to say goodbye. God bless you all. Thank you for your love, support, and prayers. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.